What's up, guys? It's KH11 and welcome to episode 26 of Spill the Tearal, the JRPG podcast. We're talking about JRPG news, release dates, what I want to play, what I've played, etc. I don't have my notes in front of me, which is why that sounded worse than usual, because this is another special episode. Like I mentioned in one of my previous episodes, I am moving soon, and so I was actually planning to do a normal episode this week, but something last second came up, and so I wouldn't be able to gather the news and all that, so I'm recording this the night before. It is currently 1 a.m., and because this was kind of happening last second, I'm doing another tier list. I want to try something different with the special episode this time, but because this is very last second, I'm just doing another tier list. I was trying to think of what I can tier list, because I mentioned in the previous tier list episodes, I did a tier list for Kingdom Hearts games, I did a tier list for Trails games, and I said that I can't really do any other JRPG series because there is no other JRPG series that I played a lot of the games of. Like East is the closest one, and even that I probably played like less than half the games maybe. And so what I thought I would do is this time I'm going to be doing a tier list of the Kingdom Hearts 2 worlds, as you can see on the screen right now probably. And I just realized when I was thinking of this type of format for special episodes, this is pretty much just going to be me doing top lists, but in a very detailed way. If you've listened to any of the actual normal episodes of Spill the Tearal, I do have the top casual list segment, which is supposed to be a top list, which is very casual. So I just think of the top 3 off the top of my head. I don't try to think of it too deep, and I pretty much just give my list like that. And so the tier list special episodes could kind of be me going very deep into it. So like when I'm going to be going through my Kingdom Hearts 2 worlds right now, I'm going to be giving you my definitive list, top to bottom, every single one accounted for, instead of just me casually thinking of the top 3. So that's what it's going to be. As I always mention, because this is also an audio podcast, I will be saying every move that I make and updating. So if you are listening to this and not watching, you should not be lost. Okay, so we have a bunch of worlds here in Kingdom Hearts 2, as you see on the screen. It doesn't actually say any of the world names, it only has the images, but from what I can tell, it is 100 Acre Woods, Beast Castle, Pirates Caribbean, Pride Lands, Space Paranoids, Mulan's World, the Toon, I don't know what the Toon world's called, like Toontown or something, Twilight Town, Agrabah, Atlantis, Mickey's Castle, Halloween Town, Hollow Bastion, Olympus Coliseum, and I believe that's the world that never was. This is going to be very interesting to me because I feel like I made a video for this like fucking years ago, like in high school. It's like a decade ago at this point. And so in terms of actually like a full list updated, I don't think I have any idea of what my list would be, especially like naming all the worlds. I don't know if I've actually done one with all the worlds of Kingdom Hearts 2. All I know right now definitively is my top worlds are Twilight Town and Hollow Bastion. So let me just put these in S right now. I'm not sure if they'll like both stay there or not, but these are the 2 worlds that I believe are usually always in my top 3, and so I'm going to keep those at the top. And I mentioned this in all my tier maker videos, but the way I tier stuff is purely based on feeling. So even in the videos where I tiered like the Kingdom Hearts games, they're based on vibe. So if I really enjoyed myself while playing that game, it will be ranked higher than another one if I didn't enjoy as much. Even if the lower one is objectively seen as a better game, like technical wise, like visuals and gameplay, I don't give a fuck about that. If I enjoy the thing more, it will go higher on the list. And so I haven't played this game in years, so it's been a while since I played Kingdom Hearts 2. The last time was when it was remade on the PlayStation 4, I believe, and so I'm going to be going off that. But at least when I was a kid, when I used to play Kingdom Hearts 2, I always gravitated towards the worlds that were more bright and like fun. A good example is, I believe one of the first choices you get to make when you play the game is, do you want to go to Mulan's World or do you want to go to Beast Castle? I always prefer to go to Mulan's World because that is relatively, compared to Beast Castle, a more bright, a more like happy world comparatively, and more like comedic. The Beast Castle was always dark and gloomy. You're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with Beast, etc. And so that's an example where like if I had to rank those 2, Mulan is higher. And so I feel like by the time I'm done this, the darker worlds are going to be closer to the bottom and the brighter worlds are going to be closer to the top. Oh, see, I have no idea. I haven't ranked these in a long time. The next one is 100 Acre Woods. This is weird because 100 Acre Woods is like one of those special worlds which isn't like a full world. Another example is like the Toon world, and Space Paranoids is, I think, a mini world, but it felt like a full world still. 100 Acre Woods is like purely a mini game world, so this is going to be hard to rank. I like the vibes of it. I like the Winnie the Pooh vibes, but like it's kind of hard to rank when it's not really a full world. So I'm gonna hold off on that. Let's go to Beast Castle. Beast Castle, like I said, when I was a kid, I didn't really like playing it because it was pretty gloomy. But like looking at it from more like, an older point of view, it is a pretty cool world. I like the fights in it. I like the fight with Zaldin, and I did enjoy, like, looking back at it, like the fights I did enjoy. And I believe this was one of the first places that I actually got to experience the Mickey mechanic, where when you die you get to use Mickey. So that's a good memory too. So this is going to change a lot, but so far, I mean, right now I'm going to put Beast Castle in B tier. I don't know if it'll move around after, but let's just put it there for now. Pirates of the Caribbean, I remember as a kid, I did not really like it at all. Like, it was like super gloomy. I didn't like that everyone looked so real. I thought like the actual fights and stuff were like meh. So like I actually didn't like the Pirates of the Caribbean world, which is why Pirates of the Caribbean and Kingdom Hearts 3 really surprised me. It was the polar opposite for me, where it was like this beautiful, bright, like daylight world. It was really fun to go through. I really loved how the world looked. And so Kingdom Hearts 3, Pirates of the Caribbean, I believe is like top of my list, and Kingdom Hearts 2 is very low. So I'm gonna put Pirates of the Caribbean right now in D. Again, I'm just trying to create like a widespread right now, so I have an easier time ranking other worlds. So like that might go up to C after. Maybe it'll go down to F. I'm not sure, but let's put that at D for now. Pride Lands was always one of my favorite worlds. I loved Lion King. That was one of the rare movies I actually watched from these. Funnily enough, a lot of these movies I still haven't watched. The only memory I have of them is through Kingdom Hearts. A funny example is Mulan. I still have not watched that. Whatever I know about the story is from Kingdom Hearts. But Pride Lands or the Lion King world is one of the rare ones where I actually watched Lion King. I watched it a fuck ton of times and I really loved it. And so I really love the Pride Lands world. So I'm gonna put this in A tier, because in terms of Disney worlds, I think it might have been my favorite. I just have to put it below Twilight Town and Hollow Bastion, because I think those are just like better worlds overall in terms of vibe, in terms of story, the Thousand Heartless fight. And I think I've mentioned this in previous podcast episodes, but I always prefer the original Kingdom Hearts worlds compared to the Disney ones. And like I even said, like I'd be okay if Kingdom Hearts at some point just move fully to that. I know it would never happen. Next we have Space Paranoids. I remember like as a kid not liking it that much. Again, it was like realistic characters. The color scheme wasn't that interesting, and like I don't think I found the world itself that fun. And I'm trying to think of the fights too. The fights I think were also like whatever. I know you gotta fight that like three-legged thing near the end. I didn't like that. I think the fight against that big floating head was okay too. Like I don't think like there's anything about this world where I was like, whoa, this is really fucking cool. I always thought this was like meh, and like I just did it. So I think, and honestly, like if I had to, like for example, if I had to pick between playing through Space Paranoids right now or Beast Castle, I think I'd rather do Beast Castle. So I'm gonna put Space Paranoids at C tier. So right now we have like a decent spread. We have Twilight Town and Hollow Bastion at S, Pride Lands at A, Beast Castle at B, Space Paranoids at C, and Parts of the Caribbean at D. Next is Land of Dragons, which is a Mulan world. I see Land of Dragons pretty much at the same tier as Pride Lands, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. At the end, when we're kind of done ranking, I'm also gonna be ranking each of the tiers if I can. And so like right now I'm just putting it however I want. But so far Pride Lands and Land of Dragons is at A tier. Toon World, I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. I don't think it was called Toontown. I think that was like a separate game that they had, but I'm gonna call it Toontown for now. But I actually really enjoy Toontown. I have PTSD with that one fucking part in it where you have to do the there's like a building on fire and you gotta fight like stuff outside it, and you gotta fight cars. That was really fucking hard for me for some reason. Those cars used to fuck me up, so I have PTSD with that one moment. But overall I like the vibe of it. I kind of like seeing Pete being simpler. I like seeing this Mickey that didn't talk, and I believe this was like the first like encounter I had with Steamboat Willie Mickey, which for some reason I like. I'm not sure why. Like I've never watched any. I even have like a Funko Pop of Steamboat Willie, but I like it for some reason, the design. So in terms of the world, I think it was pretty fun. I don't think it was amazing or anything, but I think it's at the same tier as Beast Castle, maybe like slightly above it. So right now I'll put it ahead of Beast Castle in B tier, but I'll see. Honestly, I might prefer it to Beast Castle, so I might be moving stuff around later. But right now I put it in B tier, which is the same as Beast Castle. We have Agrabah. Agrabah is one of those worlds which like it was like on the brighter side of worlds. Like I said, I like more positive worlds, but I don't know. There's a lot of parts of it that I didn't really enjoy that much. I never really enjoyed like the flying carpet sections. The boss fights were like whatever. I didn't really enjoy going into the lion's mouth, like that whole area. I have like very specific memories of like me being a kid and trying to like find a safe spot in that place. So I thought Agrabah was okay too. Like I'm trying to think of like any of the fights. They didn't really seem that special. And again, I didn't really have too much of a connection with it because I hadn't watched Aladdin. I still haven't watched Aladdin. Again, all I know about it is from clips I've seen online or just like from Kingdom Hearts 2. And I believe I see this as the same tier as Beauty and the Beast, so I'll put it in B tier with it. I think I'm going to be moving some stuff because I do think Toontown is better than both these worlds, so I might be moving stuff around later. Atlantis for me, funnily enough, I know a lot of people fucking hate Atlantis. I had no problem with it. I thought the mini games like with the music were like fine. Funnily enough, I went back to Kingdom Hearts 1 after Kingdom Hearts 2 and I fucking hated it in that world. I hated swimming around and shit. So I actually preferred it in this game. Again, it's kind of hard to rank because it is more of a mini game world. It's kind of like 100 Acre Woods. Honestly, like if you ask me like, do you want to play Beauty and the Beast or Agrabah or like Atlantis? I would say Atlantis. to me it was fine. Like I did not like dislike it, so I'm gonna put it in B tier right now, right behind Toontown and right ahead of Beauty and the Beast and Agrabah. And now that I'm looking at it, B tier is definitely gonna be split more. I think I might be moving Beauty and the Beast and everything to C tier and moving everything down. We have a Disney Castle. This is a world I actually enjoyed very much. This is actually a world that whenever I was done Kingdom Hearts 2 and I just want to play and fuck around in the worlds, this is a world that I always like going to, because I believe when you're actually like done with the world, enemies don't spawn there anymore. So I kind of just liked exploring there for fun. I'm not sure what the hell I did, but like I just like going there, and it was probably one of the most like bright, colorful world, so I just liked hanging out there. So I actually see this on the same tier as like Pride Lands and Land of Dragons. And I'm trying to remember specifically, but like I think the world vibe was cool, because at some point I believe this is the world you used to go to Toontown. So I always loved like that aspect of it, where like you had Maleficent's Thorns and you had to get rid of it by going through Toontown or something like that. It's been a while since I played, but I always like the vibe of the world. And I always thought it was cool that, this was like King Mickey's world. This is like his home you're going to. So I always liked it from that aspect too. So I'm going to put in A tier along with Pride Lands and Land of Dragons. From there, we have Halloween Town. Halloween Town was a world I did not like that much as a kid. I did not like any of the fights. Oogie Boogie was like whatever. The conveyor belt fight was whatever. I didn't really like any of the characters. I'm not really into the Tim Burton type of aesthetic / movies either. So like I really had no connection with this. And so like, honestly, I did not like the world. I did not like the fucking character designs either when I was a kid, like Sora and Donald and Goofy. I'm like, these guys look fucking stupid. And so I didn't really like enjoy this world that much. Honestly, this is like lower than like Beauty and the Beast and Agrabah, like those type of worlds. So I'm gonna put it in C tier right now with Space Paranoids. Honestly, I'd rather play Space Paranoids when compared to Halloween Town. So I'm going to put Halloween Town behind that right now in C tier. Next, we have Olympus Coliseum. Olympus Coliseum is weird because this is also another world as a kid I did not like too much, but I kind of warmed up to it as I got older. This is also one of the worlds where like there's like, in quotes, PTSD moments. The one that I'm remembering specifically is like there's this moment where you have to go up these 3 platforms, I think, and run away from like Hades. And you gotta like fight these things and go through certain gates, and then you gotta fight Cerberus at the end or something like that. I remember that was really a hard part for me to do as a kid, and so whenever I replayed it, I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to do this again." So remember that being a hard thing to do, but at the same time, I like the like overworld segments of it. I thought the Hydra fight was pretty good. I know like it's kind of weird, like it's kind of wonky, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the Hero's Crest. That's one of my favorite Keyblades from when I was a kid, and you get it from that fight. So I think if I had to put it, like it is probably on the same level as Beauty and the Beast. Like overall, I think it is. So I'm gonna put it with Beauty and the Beast. I'll just put it ahead of it right now, but that'll be in the B tier. So B tier, we have like 5 rows right now, which is Toontown, Atlantis, Olympus Coliseum, Beauty and the Beast, and Agrabah. And we only have 2 worlds left. We have 100 Acre Wood and The World That Never Was. The World That Never Was is interesting because technically you have the castle segment and you also have the city segment, the Night City, whatever it was called. I thought the Night City part was cool. I kind of like the concept where like you had these 2 segments and you obviously learn more about it as you play 358 over 2 days. I think it's pretty good. It's kind of hard to judge because it's kind of like a final boss type location, but it's really fucking big. You obviously have a lot of legendary fights there. Actually, no, technically you don't have the data battles here. That's through Hollow Bastion, I believe. And so, I'm trying to see where you would rank it. But I feel like there's so much legendary battles here. I believe this is where you fight Roxas too in the actual final mix. So, this has to go up high-ish, I believe. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I think about like playing it, I really want to play it. I think this might be like top of B tier. Right behind Toontown for me. It is a really cool world, but subjectively, what I would want to play, I don't really want to play it that much. I'd rather play like Toontown, for example. Again, I prefer more light-hearted world, so that's how it is for now. So I'm going to put it in B tier, right behind Toontown. There's one more world left, which is 100 Acre Woods. 100 Acres Wood, however you say it. And this is a weird one. Where does it go? Let's see. You know what? It's a lighthearted world. I kind of enjoy it. I think I might honestly put it at the same tier as Toontown, so I'll put it with Toontown for now. And obviously, at this point, B tier is way too full. So just to sum everything up, my list so far is S tier is Twilight Town and Hollow Bastion. A tier is Pride Lands, Land of Dragons, and Disney Castle. B tier is Toontown, 100 Acre Wood, A World Never Was, Atlantis, Olympus Coliseum, Beast Castle, and Agrabah. C tier is Space Paranoids and Halloween Town. And D tier is Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, the first thing I want to do is break B tier. I feel like, too much there. I think I can move Olympus Coliseum, Beast Castle, and Agrabah down a tier, and everything else is going to go down a tier. So Pirates of the Caribbean goes from D to F. Space Paranoids and Halloween Town goes from C to D. Olympus Coliseum, Beast Castle, and Agrabah goes from B to C. So far, we have like a perfect fucking like bell curve. If you turn this shit sideways, I have like, this is perfect. Holy shit, this looks nice. Now from here, I believe we should start ordering the specific tiers. So S tier, let's start with that. We have Twilight Town and Radiant Garden. I love Radiant Garden. There's so much legendary moments. You have the DMX fight, Thousand Heartless Battle, everything with Cloud and Neon, like all the fucking cool characters are there. I really love it. But I think the vibes of Twilight Town for me just beat it out. Or do they? This is hard. I fucking love Radiant Garden though. Hold up. My brain is saying Radiant Garden is above Twilight Town, but my heart, which I don't know if this makes sense, but my heart is saying Twilight Town is better. I actually like the Roxas segments. I love the entire vibes of like Roxas' crew. I love being there with Sora and doing the story segments there. The whole story between Axel and Roxas too. I'm gonna say Twilight Town is above for me. So S tier is gonna be first is Twilight Town, and second is Hollow Bastion. Now we're gonna go to A tier. We have Pride Lands, we have Land of Dragons, we have Disney's Castle. I'm gonna say number one is probably it's weird because Disney's Castle is a very weird type of world, but the way I'm judging is if I had to play right now, which world would I want to play? I think I would want to play Disney's Castle first, and like I don't know if I did like a top casual list if this is the order I would do, but like when I really think about it, I think I prefer Disney's Castle as a world. And then after that, I'd rather play Pride Lands, and then after that, it would be Land of Dragons. So A tier is Disney's Castle, then Pride Lands, and then Land of Dragons. Then if you go to B tier, right now we have Toontown, 100 Acre Wood, The World That Never Was, in Atlantis. This order might be it. I know it seems weird to some people that World That Never Was is under 100 Acre Woods in Toontown, but again, if I had to choose a world to play right now, I think it would be Toontown. I kind of like the vibe. It's kind of cool. I like the fight with Pete. I always prefer boss fights that are like more like humanoid rather than like a monster. And so fighting Pete and all that, I thought it was fun. I love seeing Mickey in his fucking apartment that's on fire and shit. There was that other place where you had to you're like a giant. That was pretty fun. And so I think Toontown is number one in B tier. And then I'll keep 100 Acre Wood right after that. Again, it's hard to judge it because it's a minigame world, but I liked it. Then after that will be The World That Never Was, and after that will be Atlantis. So I'm going to keep that order for B tier. C tier so far, I have Olympus Coliseum, Beast Castle, and then Agrabah. And honestly, I think that might be the order. You know what? I think as I got older, I like Beast Castle more. I'm going to put Beast Castle first, and then Olympus Coliseum, and then Agrabah. That's going to be the order for the C tier. And then D tier, we have Space Paranoids, and then we have Halloween's Castle. What the fuck? Well, no, Halloween Town, no Halloween's Castle. From those two, I don't really like any of them, honestly. I think I do prefer Space Paranoids if I had to compare, and then Halloween Town after that. Honestly, Halloween Town might be F tier with Pirates of the Caribbean. I did not really enjoy any of those worlds. You know what? Fuck it. Let me... the bell curve is so nice. Hold up. No, I'm gonna keep Halloween Town in D tier. Like, and the more I think about it, like Pirates of the Caribbean, like you can snap and get rid of Pirates of the Caribbean from Kingdom Hearts 2 and I wouldn't give a fuck. For Halloween Town, I don't like it that much, but I still do enjoy parts of it, so I'm gonna keep it in D tier. So D tier, I'm gonna keep that Space Paranoids is first, and then Halloween Town, and then F tier is Pirates of the Caribbean all alone. And I believe this is my final list. I don't think I'm gonna be doing any last minute changes like I usually do with my other tier list. So just as a sum up, in case you're listening, S tier is Twilight Town, then Hollow Bastion. A tier is Disney's Castle, then Pride Lands, then Land of Dragons. B tier is Toontown, then 100 Acre Wood, then The World That Never Was, and then Atlantis. C tier is Beast Castle, then the Olympus Coliseum, and then Agrabah. D tier is Space Paranoids and Halloween Town. F tier is Pirates of the Caribbean. And that is my final list for Kingdom Hearts 2 Worlds. This is really cool to see because, again, I don't know if I've done a list with all the worlds, and if I did, it was like a decade ago. So kind of seeing it here visually is very cool. And I think this is I don't know why I'm fucking so late to tier maker. It's kind of fun to see like what you choose as your list. So like I might do this more often. I think once I'm like, you know, settled into my new place and like I can do normal episodes again, I'll see. Maybe I'll do tier lists more often now that I know that I can do shit like this, like worlds. Maybe I can do tier lists with characters of different JRPGs. Maybe that'll be fun. And if it's something that I see that does perform well consistently, maybe this can be like a weekly thing or a bi-weekly thing. I'll see, and it doesn't have to only be a special episode. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this special episode of Spill the Tearal. This was episode 26. If you enjoyed these special episodes, you're welcome. If you don't, I am sorry. I know these don't do as well on the audio feeds, but it is what it is. I just can't do normal episodes right now. We will be back next week with episode 27. I cannot guarantee whether that will be a normal episode or a special episode since things are just really turbulent right now. Things changed last second. Again, like literally an hour ago, I was planning to do a normal episode tomorrow, but something came up last second that I have to do tomorrow, so I just thought of this. So if you guys do enjoy these tier maker special episodes, let me know down in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, either on Spill the Tearal or the the Cage Unlimited channel. Leave a like, subscribe. That would be appreciated. If you're listening on audio feeds, remember to leave a 5-star rating. It really helps this podcast out a bunch. I noticed the spikes that happen with impressions whenever stuff like that happens, so it's very much appreciated. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week for episode 27. Peace.